The little girl stood barefoot on the cold, sterile hospital tiles, her oversized hoodie slipping off one shoulder, the cuffs hiding her tiny fingers. Her voice trembled like a candle in the wind as she looked up at the tall man in the black suit, his hands still stained faintly with the red ink of a boardroom battle, his mind still calculating numbers in the billions. But all of that shattered when he heard her whisper, "Sir, are you my new daddy?" His throat tightened. He didn't even know this child. Not her name, not her story, not yet. But in that one sentence, something inside him cracked open, something he had spent years locking away. What he didn't know then was that she wasn't just an abandoned child searching for hope in the chaos of a hospital waiting room, she was the very soul who would save him from himself. Speech balloon. If you believe that kindness can heal, that second chances can find us when we least expect them, and that even the coldest hearts can be warmed by love, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs to hear this story today, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks. Stories like this live through your support. It all started on a rainy Tuesday morning in Boston. The city wore its usual armor of gray, with streets glistening under wet reflections and people rushing to beat the storm. Michael Sterling, the 38-year-old CEO of Sterling Holdings, walked through the automatic glass doors of St. Joseph's Medical Center, not to save a life, but to fulfill a legal obligation. His mother's old caretaker, a woman he hadn't spoken to in years, had passed away after a long illness. She had requested, in her will, that Michael be present for her daughter's discharge, though Michael had no idea she even had a child. It was supposed to be a 5-minute formality. Sign some papers, offer condolences, and move on. His schedule was packed with meetings, market analyses, and a pending acquisition that could elevate his company to global dominance. He had no time for emotion, especially not grief. But as he stepped into the pediatric lobby, time slowed to a crawl. The child stood alone near the vending machine, clutching a worn-out stuffed rabbit with only one ear. Her shoes were mismatched, one pink and one yellow, and her hair was tied in messy braids, uneven as if done in a hurry. Nurses walked by, patients wheeled past, but no one stopped. It was as if she were invisible to the world. Michael's assistant had gone to check in at the counter, leaving him briefly by the glass door. He looked at the girl casually, then instinctively turned back toward the windows. But before he could leave the scene, she walked up to him, lifted her chin, and said it. In that moment, the weight of her voice, so innocent, so filled with aching hope, pierced through the $1 million suit he wore like armor. He blinked, stunned. This wasn't part of the plan. He hadn't signed up to speak with any children. He hadn't held a child's hand since his little brother drowned in their backyard pool when he was 11. That tragedy, and the silent guilt that followed, had hollowed him out slowly over decades. Michael had become a man of ledgers, not lullabies. But now, standing frozen before a child who thought he was her father, something stirred in him, a tremor of feeling he couldn't name. He watched her cheeks turn red as if she regretted asking. Her eyes, a clear ocean blue, brimmed with tears she tried hard to blink away. His heart, long buried beneath contracts and quarterly earnings, thudded against his ribs. Before he could respond, the nurse returned with a file. "Mr. Sterling, this is Anna. Her mother was Elaine, your mother's former caretaker. Elaine passed 2 days ago. She named you as the temporary guardian until social services arrives." He stared blankly, the nurse's words sounding like static. Guardian. Him. Michael had a penthouse, not a playroom. His fridge had champagne, not chocolate milk. He had no clue how to talk to a child, let alone raise one. But when the nurse gently touched Anna's shoulder to guide her away, the girl clung tighter to his leg. "Please, don't leave me. I'll be good." Her whisper cracked. That's when it hit him. This wasn't about convenience. This was about survival. The little girl had no one. Still, Michael couldn't commit. That evening, as he sat in the backseat of his town car, he read the social worker's file. Anna's father had vanished years ago. Her mother had worked herself sick, taking double shifts to support them. Anna had spent nights in hospital waiting rooms, coloring while her mother got chemo in silence. She was 6 years old but already understood what it meant to lose. As the city lights passed by outside, Michael felt that same cold emptiness he used to feel as a boy, alone in his massive house after his brother died. And suddenly, the thought of letting her be swallowed by a broken system made him nauseous. That night, Anna came to live in his guest bedroom, though she called it the princess room, because of the way the sunlight touched the ceiling like a crown. At first, it was awkward. Michael avoided breakfast. He didn't know how to tie shoelaces. When she asked for a bedtime story, he read her investment memos because he had nothing else. But Anna didn't mind. She just smiled and said he had a deep sleepy voice, and it helped her dream. Slowly, cracks formed in the concrete of his heart. The days turned to weeks. Michael learned to pack lunch. He Googled how to braid hair. He skipped meetings to attend her art shows and bought her rain boots when he noticed her socks were always wet. His house grew warmer, not from the thermostat, but from laughter echoing down marble hallways. His colleagues were baffled. The ruthless CEO was late to meetings and once showed up with paint on his cuff. But his stock value didn't drop. In fact, Sterling Holdings soared. Investors called it the human era, not realizing that behind every success story was a little girl who reminded a man what it meant to love. But just as life began to feel real again, a letter arrived. Anna's biological father had been located. He had a criminal record, but legally, he still had parental rights. A custody hearing was scheduled. Michael panicked in silence. He didn't sleep for nights. He couldn't bear to lose her. Not now, not after she had filled his world with light. He hired the best lawyers. He prepared for war. But when the judge asked Anna, gently, who she wanted to live with, her answer broke the room. I want to stay with my new daddy. He keeps the monsters away. And, he doesn't forget I'm in the room. Everyone cried. Even the judge. The courtroom hushed, like a cathedral in prayer. The verdict came swiftly. Full custody to Michael Sterling. On the way out, Anna tugged his sleeve and whispered, "So, am I really your little girl now?" He knelt, hugged her tight, and for the first time in years, his tears didn't feel like weakness. They felt like home. Dove, if this story touched your heart, if you believe every child deserves love and every broken soul deserves a second chance, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks. We tell real stories that prove the world still has goodness left in it. Speech balloon special request. In the comments below, please write, every child deserves a safe heart to come home to remind the world that no child should ever feel invisible.